Okay. All right, so this here is a bike trail. I'm breathing hard because I just got my car stuck. And it worked about 15 minutes to get it out. And then I got it, but then it went back and kind of got stuck again. But she's as good as out now. I get tired of making a scene. People over there looking at me. All right, so where I first saw it was over there about 100 yards. First time I ever seen Bigfoot. Then right here's the softball fields. You know, we could go back there if there wasn't as much snow. And over here I had a campsite one time a few years back. Saw them there. Now, I think that they, about 100 yards that way, they crossed the trail and they use these woods here to get through. Okay, let's see, there's a tree break there. There's one there. All right. There's one there. Look at that. Is that Twister? Let's go see how she twisted. All right, so now I got this theory that you see, we got a river going through this town, and I think they use the river to travel. Or I mean, we have patches of woods that go along the river, but you get right next to houses and right next to downtown, and a lot of people are gonna be hard pressed to think that they go through there. But I kind of see how they do it. Someday we'll walk that track. See, now in the winter time you can see a long ways. So I've been, they wouldn't come over, they'd be on the other side of that ridge. And then way down there, they cross again. But okay, you see how that's okay, that's not just broken, that's twisted and snapped over. Okay. So how did I end up seeing Bigfoot? Well, that tree branch right there. Well, I was living on my own, and then I couldn't fuck it up, so I couldn't like stay where I was staying out in the country. And I came to town, and I didn't ask anybody for help, and I kind of lived at a couple of my friends' houses and down here by the river. And there was these guys that were a father and a son, and they had been there for 2 years, and I show up in the middle of August, right? And right there, I show up in the middle of August, and they'd been there for 2 years. And at that point, I was watching Finding Bigfoot, Monster Quest, you know, all that stuff, and I was interested. And I had heard some stories from my friends of some weird stuff they saw. And so I was down here for about 20 minutes. First time I've been down here. I know these guys. First time I was down here. And I go and I said, 20 minutes in, I said, as a joke, I said, so, got any Bigfoot activity around here? And they laughed. Oh, they had a chuckle, you know. They, nobody tell you down, you know, right? And so I'm like, And then I bet later that day, maybe an hour later, I heard a knock. And for the next day or two, every time I got up, see, there was two tents, the dad's and the kids. And the dad, that's where everybody hung out. But when somebody would get up to go to the other tent, you'd hear that knock. And I found out later that they could see us when we'd get up, instead of heading for that, because there was a road behind the tent. A little dumb four-wheeler trail. And you go about 40 yards to the next tent. Plenty of time for any Bigfoot in the area to know that they're walking in this direction, in that direction. And I'm like, could that be a knock? I mean, I'm thinking, is that a knock? And I kept hearing it at the, you know, not at random times, that like, I would stand up and then I'd hear it. You know, just as if, you know, it was doing what I thought it was doing. And look at this right here. It's kind of like an X there. This is pulled down. I think it's snow load. See that crack? Okay, that's a live tree. All right. It's a live tree. And I don't think the weight of the snow would pull that down. Huh. Maybe some kids were climbing it and they got out too far and it came down. Let's go check this out. See, sometimes they leave X's specifically for me. I mean, not only me, but when you have an X in the pathway of a way you went yesterday or the day before, you know, and you come back to see some more, and there's a big X right in your way that wasn't there the day before, yeah, that's for me. And when I see those, I don't really go back to that area, you know, and I hope that they appreciate that, because we're kind of communicating when they do that, aren't we? What's going on here? Like, they kind of blocked this, didn't they? It's getting dark now, but so anyways, I hear them knocks, you know, and I'm investigating the area. And then like 4 days later, I'm coming down with Tim. And I'll tell you that story sometime, but we both saw it. And he moved out of there about 5 days after that. Which is funny because he was living down there because he couldn't get along with his mom. And Jesus, what's going on here? That's a heck of a blind there. That is one heck of a blind there. So he moved back with his mom. Because like after we saw that, after we saw those eyes and the silhouette and stuff, about 2 days later, we were shining our flashlights into the forest, and after about 10 minutes of talking about them and shining, he pushed a tree over. Okay. 2 days later, Tim was gone. And whenever I asked him about it, he's like, I don't know. I think it was a deer. That's what he kept saying. And one time when I was talking to my friends, he was in the room. I was like, yeah. Tim, you saw it, right? He's like, I don't know what I saw. I think it was a deer. Totally copped out, you know. And, geez, I don't remember there was a windstorm. So he was scared of something. I don't know why I'm not scared, because I've had him growl at me, push 3 or 4 trees over, putting X's up everywhere. I was talking outside my shack one night. I thought they were gonna kill me. I thought they were gonna pull me in the river or something. I crawled underneath my mat on the floor that I slept on, crawled underneath it and started praying to God. I don't know if they heard my prayers or God. I know God heard them, but I respected him a lot more after that. Yeah, I've done some pretty kooky things in the woods that I bet they just thought I was weird. All this is pretty. Look at that. You know, look at that. All these branches everywhere. Just blah, 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 blah. Makes me want to go in there and look.